your man in Japan, jcontra, and I'm here in the Akihabara location of Mandarake, and I'm here trying to just make sense of what's going on with the Sega Saturn right now, because everything is sorted alphabetically, so I have no idea what half of these games are. So I thought, what if we just pulled the valuable ones? What if you can see on some of these games, a lot of them are in protective cases. You can see some of them, the more expensive ones, have this little like, you know, theft protection device on them. So that means that means they have to be good, right? Well, let's put that to the test. And we're gonna start right here with the Sega Saturn here for $40. You can pick up X-Men versus Street Fighter for about $40. And it even includes, yes, it does in fact include the memory card that you need to use to play the game, because it's got so many characters and so many cool sprites. I believe this is a shooter, so for about, wow, $120, this is a submarine shooting game, and hopefully you can see it. See some of the screenshots. I think you can find this a lot cheaper on the PlayStation, which is the truth for a lot of these Sega Saturn shooters. You can just find them. You can find them cheaper on the PlayStation, but the games aren't necessarily. I think the Sega Saturn ones are seen more arcade perfect, since a lot of them came out on Sega arcade hardware, and so that's why people tend to want to play the arcade perfect version for the Sega Saturn, thus making them more expensive. This is about $60, the game Paradise. I have no idea what this game is. Perhaps someone else who is more familiar with Japanese Sega Saturn games could let me know. Here's going for about $70 for reasons that I'm not entirely sure. Is this a shooter? I can't tell. Sometimes it's really hard. It's hard to make heads or tails of some of these games, and I'm guessing it's expensive for a reason. Let's keep moving. Let's keep moving. Nope. Well, we've already done that layer. Here we go. This is where some big stuff happens. Here we can get Thunder Force 5, the special pack. This is going for $90, nine tens of dollars, or you can get the regular Thunder Force for also $90. Here we've got a copy. This copy is going for $90, and then you can also get a not as good copy. So what's very interesting about Mandarake, and what can save you some money if you can't find these games anywhere else, Mandarake tends to be a little bit expensive, but if you look at the bottom left corner, you've got various ratings for the different, like for the disc, the manual, and the box, and hold on, disc, manual, and the obi. So this one's 9,000. That was about a B grade. I can't get the other one out. Sorry. That one's gonna be a little bit obvious. This system's not very good. It seems when you put a lot of those theft protection devices together, it's hard to move them. Here we go. Salamander, going for 6,000 for the deluxe pack. Oh, and then here we go. Oh, here's Parodius. $70. Wow, $70 for Parodius? Forever with me. But we're gonna put you back. And then this, yes, here we go, Kingdom Grand Prix. If you've watched some of my other videos in Akihabara, this is something that I've been trying to find. I finally located it, and it's going for about $70 with the obi. That's actually not bad. I think Super Potato on its website was selling this for, I want to say, like $100 plus, where you can get it here for $70, or you can even get a slightly nicer copy at $85. And it's, so if you look at here, it says, it's in the notes section, it says there's a problem with it says there's a little bit of damage on the obi, on the spine cover. And I for one, I cannot see it. It's so, I don't know. Let's keep moving. Okay, so nothing up top here. Oh, here's some Sengoku Blade. Wow, if I had an extra $100, I would definitely pick this up. But I would also probably check Trader first before I bought Sengoku Blade for $120. Power Drift. Power Drift for $60? Man, the Sega Saturn has really been on the up and up. Power Drift is going for $60. Goodness. Oh, and Skullfang. Okay, this is a pretty good Skullfang, it's a good shooter. This is going for about $100, $120, excuse me. All the tape. Oh, I feel like I don't want to break those staff devices, so I don't want to start jamming these things in. Oh, and there we go, another Soul Divide. You know, I've never seen Soul Divide before today, but now it seems to have just popped up everywhere. I don't know if people are trying to get rid of it. It's become popular, but I've never noticed it before. And of course, Terra Diver. Amazing game. Can't recommend it highly enough. I think I've found in every single one of these Akihabara videos that I've made, and that's because I pointed out because it is an amazing shooter. That reminds me why I play the Sega Saturn. Although I think you can find it on the PlayStation for cheaper. And here's Choaniki. This is a really fun shooter. It's got a very interesting art style, but it's very cool. It's going for about 60 bucks. Let's see, what else can we find? Let's see. Team Kurusta. This is going for, wow, $100. Wow, so many $100 Sega Saturn games. I am flabbergasted, I have to admit. I did not realize, I know the Sega Saturn had some very expensive games, like, you know, Street Fighter Alpha 3, but I did not realize it had so many $100 plus games, like Night Striker 3, is it Night Strikers, or is it Night Striker 3s? I don't get it, but it's going for $70. And then here is the Japanese Christmas Nights, which you can get for $6. I think, what's the English go for? Goes for like, what? $100 plus. Oh, and then, oh, Donpachi, $70. Great game. And then, of course, the sequel, Doronpachi, even more legendary, going for $100, which seems to be the going rate these days in Akihabara. And then, oh, Terra Cresta 3D. Terra Cresta was actually quite a fun game for the Famicom, and there it can be yours for $130 for the 3D version for the Sega Saturn. Let's move. Oh, then you just get to, oh boy, oh wow, there's really, oh, these insane people, they've actually done it. Here we got the copy of Mother. This is a B and C grade with the damage to the manual. This is a copy of Mother going for $100, but then why is this copy here going for $47? I don't understand. Because look at this. Here's a complete C grade copy of Mother, the original Earthbound. Well, I guess Earthbound 0, that's the proper term. It's C, it's in allegedly really bad shape, but if you look, nothing about it seems bad to me. It seems to be in really good condition. This is going for $47 when you include the tax. And then there's just, you know, then there's just these copies. Like this one, which I guess looks slightly better. Don't judge it because of the messed up casing. But it's going for $130 for this B grade. Like what? What is it? Like, Mandarake is very confusing sometimes. Sometimes you can find cartridges that they're basically trying to give away on rare games sometimes. But then you find just some of these games that are just weirdly priced. Here we go. Oh, Metal Black. Oh my god, 80 bucks. Oh, I wish I had the budget for that. Anything else? Oh, then here's a game I'm not super familiar with. That's going for $90. Again, not really looking for deals, just trying to find some cool treasures, because honestly, after going through this store a little bit before making the video, I did not really see anything that I would call worthy of a deal. I've bought a few things from this place in years past, excuse me. Lack of Love, wow, 100 bucks for Lack of Love. I think they've got a copy. Yes, here we go. Here's a copy for like 85. So yeah, if you're okay with a little bit of a few scuffs on your Lack of Love obi on the spine cover, you get this one. The disc is an A grade, the manual is a B grade, scuffs on the obi, that's $85, or you could pay an extra $25 for a slightly better manual at an A grade, and the obi is apparently in pristine condition, I guess. But honestly, to me, I think I'll save the $25, but that's just me. I'm on a budget, whatever. You go, wow, I've not seen this before. $90? I'm assuming, oh yeah, it's a nice, cool shooting game. Hopefully you can see that. These cases are so reflective. I'm assuming that's because they want to protect it from the UV, because these lights here are actually quite good. Something that really is disappointing about a lot of Japanese a lot of Japanese video game stores is that they have these really harsh lights that will actually tend to like bleach the boxes of stuff. And so what happens is if a game gets stuck in one of these stores for a long time, it just becomes unbuyable anymore because no one wants to buy a bleached copy of a video game, especially if they're not going to discount the price. But it looks like these things are pretty heavy duty, probably protect from the UV. And if you look at the lights, if you look at the lighting situation here, it's very dim. You can probably tell because the iPhone video is not very bright. Look at this Napple Tail. I remember when I first came to Japan, this used to be like a $26 game. Now it's going for about $55. Not a ton of super expensive Dreamcast games, which is also kind of why I'm thinking about getting into the Dreamcast a bit more, just because the games seem to be relatively cheaper than the Sega Saturn. Anything else? Oh, oh wow, Shiren the Wanderer game. I did not know that a Shiren the Wanderer game had come out for the Dreamcast. Oh, okay, that's going for $70. Interesting. Oh, and oh cool, it's a different Shiren the Wanderer. Nice. Okay, so that, I guess we can look over some of the marquee PC Engine games. Although, once again, I'm not super familiar with these games, so you'll have to excuse me for not really knowing what any of these games are. But they are, boy, are they expensive. Except for Double Dungeons, which is only like 15 bucks. If you wanted to play, I wish I could read that kanji, and I don't want to embarrass myself by saying it wrong, but that's $30. I thought that would be more expensive. But then here we go, Super Metal Crusher. I already showed this before, but that's going for $50. I just wanted to say the price of that before we moved on. Let's head over, Super Darius, the console version, Super CD-ROM version, going for 5,700 yen, that's about $55. Now here we go. Yeah, I wanted to kind of focus on the N64 for a little bit, just because I've been giving it short shrift recently, and I think it deserves a little bit more. Here we've got this is a quite expensive N64 game, one of the few that actually are expensive when you buy complete in box. This is the second 3D Castlevania, and that came out for 6,000. Well, it is now 6,000 yen. That's about $60. You can also get a complete copy of Mario Kart for $40. These people are crazy. That's nuts. Then, Custom Robo. Can't go wrong with Custom Robo. It's going for about 2,500 yen. That's about, what, $25? That's pretty good. It's a good game. I've seen better prices, but I've also certainly seen worse prices on stuff. Just gonna randomly look through these Bomberman all these Bomberman games before the people next to me clear out, because I don't want to interrupt their game browsing. Bomberman Hero going for, I think, isn't this like a $100 plus game in the United States? Or is here? Oh, you want a complete copy? Here, it's $12. That's how little I think the N64 is thought of in Japan. And even Bangayo. Okay, this is alright. Bangayo. The Dreamcast version is, I think, a lot better because obviously the Dreamcast had the processing power to play a game that has so much action going on. But the N64 is quite rare. I think it was limited to 10,000 copies, and that's why this. The cartridge is graded A, the box is graded C, and the manual is graded B, and this is going for $130. And then we were just talking about Shiren the Wanderer. Here is Shiren the Wanderer 2 for the N64. This is a great roguelike game you can play for the N64. I actually just recently live streamed this, although maybe when you're watching this, it might be a few months in the past if I'm going to date this. So this is going for about $25. It's actually a great game. I would highly recommend picking this up, if not necessarily from Mandarake, picking it up from somewhere else. And wow, they even have Wario Land. Here's Wario Land for the Virtual Boy, and it's going for $140. Let's go to the showcase. We might not be able to get to the game showcase, but we can at least show off the console showcase. Here we've got all kinds of, like, a huge variety of consoles that are complete in box. We've got all of these special edition Game Boys, which are super rare and highly sought after, and they're very expensive. It costs, what is it? A Card Capture Sakura special edition Game Boy Color going for $200. They even have a beautiful Cinnabar red PlayStation 2, which I guess I don't want to say it's limited edition, but it is a variant that I think is highly sought after. I love the red PlayStation 2. It's going for almost $400. You can even get a Game Boy Advance SP Chain of Memories limited edition, going for $250. And wow, some loose. I mean, if they're selling loose AV Famicoms, I think Famicom has definitely leveled up, because it's only going for $90. That AV Famicom with a couple controllers. I'm not blocking the light with my huge gaijin body. Got some controllers. Let's move over, and then here are the big boys. But my God, about 3. So this is a special version of Samurai Spirits. It's Samurai Spirits Ray Special. That is going for $3,500. That is just wow. That is mind-boggling to me. And then the Famicom games. Just so many Famicom games, all in the box. Fire Emblem. I actually want to sit down and actually beat this one day, because you can get the original Fire Emblem for the Famicom for 2,700 yen. That's $27. That's actually not bad. I've seen it go for a lot more other places, especially the places that like to take advantage of the tourists and price those sort of like those staple games. Some places will price them very highly. Mandarake just seems to kind of price everything really expensively. So here we go. Wow, Wild Guns going for $850 complete in box. Here's all the expensive Super Nintendo games. I hope you can hear me over that beautiful J-pop, the J-rock. Here's once again the most expensive Super Famicom game. That is Rendering Ranger R2 complete in box, going for about almost $3,000. That's actually a fair price, I would say. I remember probably like 5 years ago, you'd probably get Rendering Ranger R2 for about maybe what, $100, $200 complete in box? Not today. Yep, this is a very much a who's who of the most expensive Super Famicom games. I hope I'm moving. I'd like for people to leave me comments on my camera technique, because sometimes whenever I watch my videos, I feel like I'm moving too fast. I don't know if that's because I shoot these in 60 frames per second. And it's hard to keep track of looking at the games themselves, as well as making sure I've got things within the frame. So I hope, here we go. Here's what we'll end out with. We got some amazing Super Saturn, some amazing Sega Saturn shooters. We got Steam Hearts, very inappropriate. I think that they cut out a lot of the inappropriate content for the Sega Saturn as compared to the PC Engine version. This will cost you $200. We've got the amazing, an unopened copy of Battle Garega. That is insane. That is going for $320. And then Batsugun. I think Batsugun, if it didn't invent bullet hells, it definitely was one of the pioneers. That's going for $230. And then a Hyper Duel, which used to be a $400 game, is apparently now a $570 game. I think I'd rather buy Hyper Duel somewhere else. And then we've got I think Trader had Radiant Silvergun for, I think it was like $200. This copy here, you can buy one that's like a little bit better at $27, or you can buy one for $220 if you're okay with a few nicks and scratches on your manual, which I certainly am. And here we've got this pristine copy of Sengoku. Well, okay, it's not exactly pristine, because apparently it's an A grade for everything except for the Obi, which has a little bit of damage to it. That's going for $160. Wow, and then once again, Cleopatra Fortune, which is the most expensive Dreamcast game I've ever seen, and it's going for $220. I hope you can see it with the light. And I do like the muted light here. Once again, it's preserving these games, which is great. Even these games that are in the showcase. There's just so much I could really. Once again, this is one of those stores that, even for Tokyo, is very impressive, and is one of those places where I could probably just do a 20-minute video of just the showcase, but I want to kind of get a feel for the whole store. And I hope you do come. If you ever come to Akihabara, you do end up going to Mandarake, because it's magical, it's expensive, but at least you can look. If not buy, at least you can look. And I think what we'll do is we'll end on Time Gal and Tayate for $150 for the PlayStation. It is still mind-boggling to see PlayStation games that are going for Serial Experiments Lane going for $470. Okay, it's unopened. See, sometimes I get this sticker shock by seeing the price of the game, and then I come to realize it's actually unopened. And so a new copy, it's already, I think if you bought it opened, I think it'd be about $200. And then Gaia Seed, even though Gaia Seed is unopened, it's in pristine condition, is a $400 shooter. And so on that somewhat disappointing note, I'm going to end it here. But I mean, The prices are disappointing, but it's still cool to see all these games lined up. So with my shaky hand, I'm going to call it here. I have been jcontra. This has been the Mandarake in Akihabara, the monolith as I like to call it. Thanks for watching. See you next time, and mahalo.